Welcome to Film Study Podcast with Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars, all that good stuff. Listen, Kaya and I just finished reviewing 100%. That was directed by Mr. Daniel Ezra. I want to take this time to say he did a great job directing. And now we're going to be talking, predicting, and previewing episode 610. Crazy that we're already at 610. Mass Appeal. This one was written by Robert Doty and directed by one of my favorite directors. I always gotta shout her out, Dawn Wilkinson. Like, y'all don't know, but I love this woman. She's great. Mass Appeal. The NFL Combine. Spencer finds himself struggling at the NFL Combine when prospective coaches dig into his past. Jordan convinces Layla to take a day for herself while he handles her first brunch service at the lounge. Elsewhere, Asher receives some unexpected news about Coach Montes, and Olivia's time with baby AJ gives her some much needed perspective about her book. So what do we think Asher is dealing with? Receives some unexpected news about Coach Montes.
I feel like I haven't even read this thing. I feel like they're gonna make it that he decides to
He's
leave
retiring.
Postal and now it's like, oh, you're next in line to take over the program, basically.
Yeah, I agree. Something like that. I don't know if like next in line to. Well, listen, he played immediately. He played in the game, so maybe he is next in line in the world of All-American.
I can't stand you. By the time you're ready to graduate from here, you're gonna be up to take over.
Nope, he's gonna be a student coach.
He's pretty much calling all the shots now as it is. So.
Exactly. So there you go. I agree. I think it's going to be. I don't think that they're going to address obviously what's happening in real life on the show. I think that they've handled it in a very respectful way, in a way that's honoring to Kamara de los Reyes, which again, rest in peace. And yeah, I've just been thrilled with the way that they've handled this. I do not think that they're gonna like recast the role at all. So I think that and I don't think that they're gonna talk about any sort of death like in the show. I think that it'll definitely be sort of off screen, that he's just decided to move on, maybe spend more time with his family, maybe accept a coaching job somewhere else.
Yeah, like him and Coach Mrs. Montes decided to sell their home and stuff and move to Florida with Grandpa Willie.
Exactly.
Retire.
not with Grandpa Willie. Well, let's do. I was gonna say Olivia, but let's do Jordan and Layla. What do you think? Convinces her to take a day for herself while he handles her first brunch service. Are we gonna see Layla taking a day for herself? What is that gonna look like?
Are we gonna see? That's going to look like her blowing his phone up, checking in.
That's a really great prediction. I didn't even think about that, but honestly really, really great.
He's gonna be like, baby girl, you're not supposed to be calling me. You're supposed to be like at the spa or something, But I feel like her taking a day for herself is gonna be probably her going a little down memory lane of like places that remind her of her mom, maybe, which could be therapeutic. Who knows? We'll see. And then we'll see him struggling with
through this brunch service.
Yeah, struggling in a cute way of trying to make it successful for her and just wanting everything to be right. And her after having like not a stressful day in a way like she couldn't handle it, but in a stressful day where it was a heavy day for her to deal with things, but it really helped her,
especially because we all know that she's such a sort of type A.
Yeah.
Where it's going to be hard for her to disconnect for sure.
So I think it's going to be just a lot for her to like handle with like leaving him in charge and trying to worry about yourself, but you have a lot going on with yourself at the same time. And then we'll see them come back together at the end, and she'll see that he actually put together a pretty nice celebration, like brunch thing for her.
Yeah, I think that I don't know about a celebration. That would be cute though, but I do think that Jordan is going to struggle maybe in the beginning, but I think that the brunch service will move smoothly. Like I don't think anything is going to seriously derail it.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's going to be unsuccessful. I think that it'll be fine in the end. I'm really curious to see how they go about showing us this like day off, especially because it's and it could surprise us and she could be with another character, but this is very different because we've seen sort of Spencer take a episode where he's sort of to himself or like with one other character, like we saw him with Dr. Spears, but for the most part they tend to at least have another person to sort of bounce off of. So I just want to see how they handle that in terms of
Live,
her.
make it
um
live.
well, because Liv is going to be with baby AJ, so it's
Oh,
going to be,
that's gonna
yeah,
be
so
cool.
it's, I know.
No, I'm
Please,
joking.
no.
We do
God,
not want
no,
that. We
no,
do not
please.
accept it.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how they execute that on screen. I was just like, dang it, like Liv's with AJ, and so we won't get to see her with Liv, which would have been cool.
Hope it's like on her
Um,
own though.
But that's what I'm saying is that so it's we don't really get that often, like people really just taking a day. And again, even with
Yeah.
Liv, like we saw her with a therapist, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested to see how that goes for her. And I do think that it'll be a little bit of like her actually needing to disconnect and not like really wanting to let go of that control.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Liv perspective. I think it's really interesting some much needed time with baby AJ because okay. Never really we've seen her mention this baby like once.
I mean, I don't I don't even remember the first time.
Like that's what I'm saying because it was like in a group of people.
It was premiere. It was oh my gosh.
So I'm like, yeah,
What's
sure, this fictional relationship that I guess they're gonna have her realizing like, oh my goodness, like everybody has a semi relationship with this baby
I was
except for
about
me
to
because I
say
was
maybe that's
away.
what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And so that I'm thinking about it, that's probably gonna be the approach. But
It's like,
it's just
oh,
really, yeah, it's quite hilarious because we just have not seen Liv really show an interest in baby AJ.
no, not at all. But now
Yeah,
she's moved in with her man,
she is. Yep. So she's yep.
and eventually they're gonna want a family of their own. So, oh my gosh, look
That's
at this baby right here. Let me get to know you and get to know what it's
let me
like a little
spend some
bit.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think her much needed perspective is maybe that maybe she's turning Billy's book into a kid's book.
What? That would
Maybe
be
she thought it
interesting.
was gonna be a maybe she thought it was gonna be like a fully fledged adult book. But I think that as we mentioned in our review, you know, including the affair wouldn't really tarnish his legacy. I think we both agreed that it makes sense for her not to. But
Mm-hmm.
because it's more of I don't want to use this phrase, but I can't think of another one. But because it's more of a sort of fluff piece on Billy's life, and it's just a very positive outlook and a very positive take without sort of like really including the totality of who he is, that I do think that it would be smart maybe for her to change this into something where a kid can look and say like dream big, especially because it includes like parts with her and Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she would definitely have to take out that what is it? It's about damn time we got our shot at happiness. I think
I
she
was
definitely has to
thinking that
take
as
that
soon
line
as
out.
you mentioned Spencer.
I'm like maybe she should definitely take out some parts, but maybe she redirects the book, and maybe it's not that it like fully becomes a kid's book, but maybe she adds a kid's edition. I don't know.
Hmm. That would be interesting. What's the perspective? Let's see. I think she's like the hardest one.
She is because it's like and I feel like also that it was none more apparent than this past episode, but they have not been giving her a lot of time with this book. I think
No.
as opposed to especially last season, we get the article quite a bit, but this is just it hasn't been since really the second episode where she was asking Jordan and her mom about doing the book, but we've just gotten these little tidbits because it shifted into Ashley, but we haven't really seen her like sort of working through the process of her book. Like we saw the interviews, which was good, and again, like the green light to do the interviews and the what her interview with Grace and how that was going, but we're now like this is the 10th episode in and we really haven't gotten it since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think I feel like that's why it's so hard right now, because there hasn't been much to go off of. Dag Liv, they've been so focused on like filling in her relationship, and like,
yeah, that's true.
it's been so focused on like solidifying her and Spencer's relationship and where they go from here.
I think solidifying her and Spencer's relationship, and then I think calling back to maybe some unresolved issues that she may have had in the past. So, like, again, relating it back to how she approached asking her mom and Jordan about the book and their thoughts on the book. And then it was, what else am I trying to say? And then it was like her unresolved feelings about the affair. So it's like we've gotten some other things revolving this book that doesn't actually have to do with it, and we haven't really seen her working on it. Like we just, to your point, it's been about solidifying her relationship with Spencer, because then it was just like, oh, I could read it, you're done, and then she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm done yet. So it's just this sort of thing. We haven't spent a lot of time with her actually doing and writing the book. It's been more of like other people's in her life and how they're reacting to this book.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna skip that.
Okay. And then Spencer struggling the NFL Combine.
I feel like Spencer is always struggling. Not in a negative way. I feel like
he goes struggle till his story is wrapped up. I can tell you that much.
No, not like in a negative. I feel like they always show him struggling so that way they can show how he comes out of those struggles.
For sure.
It's like he's gonna be struggling, but we know in the end it's like he's gonna be successful. That's the thing.
Exactly, yeah. That's TV, baby. Baby girl, that's TV.
Stop. That's how TV works, you know. But I think it's like coming off of like this huge championship game and like playing at GAU and everything. I think it's just gonna be like a little shock to him, shock of reality of
it's the
going into the
next
big
level
leagues.
up.
Yeah. So I think it's just gonna be him struggling to adjust now to what his new reality is about to be, and we'll see him by the end making it.
I love that. I love that. I think that it reminds me of much has been made, and I've become a quick fan of this year's rookie class for the WNBA. And there's been much discussion about the need for an adjustment period, even when there are like these otherworldly generational talents. And I think the same applies to Spencer, is that now he's on a level with, first of all, with other prospective NFL draftees that are just as good, if not better than him. But also that he's preparing to be in a league full of professionals. Like this is what they do at the highest level. So there's gonna be an adjustment period, and there's gonna take some more work. So I agree, and especially after coming off of that emotional high that was the championship game. I mean, if you just step outside of that and look at it from a human perspective, like having someone that died in your past come visit you in dreams is crazy. You're doing this for all of Crenshaw. Like there is an emotional element to that too. And I definitely think like just coming off of the emotional high of all of that, plus everything that he went through this season.
My man in his backpack.
Plus also like, moving in with Liv, it's going to be great. But I also do think like with anything that they're gonna have some idiosyncrasies that they're gonna have to figure out, just because why not, right? Because we're putting them in this new environment where they're living together. So I think that too, even though I don't know if it'll be stated, but I think like all of these things, all of these changes going going on in his life are going to impact this combine process.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what what them like actually living together looks like.
Me too. Me too. I will say this: what do we think that we're getting a Olivia wedding because of this foreshadowing? Do we think we'll see it on screen?
Do we think we'll see it on screen? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they can't like not show us
Do
them
you
getting
think it's going to be a double wedding?
No. Was that you that asked me that earlier? Wasn't my No, it was you.
Yeah, I
No.
said I'm gonna
No.
bring it back around. Yeah,
No, 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 no. No.
I said, do you think? Not do you want? By the way,
No. No, 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 no. I
I
don't
love
think they'll
that.
do that. You know why I don't think they'll do that?
Why?
Because they will have a full-on war going on. Like people will be coming after them.
But I love the mess. How great
And
would that be to end it? Go imagine the last scene is like
let me
them in a double wedding, and then a flash forward.
that is
That would be
like,
such an all-American writer way of going out and writing a
bruh.
sunset. Like it would be the biggest. Like I'm joking, but it would be the biggest. Yeah, like F you, I'm gonna do what I want to the audience. Like
That
it's
is
just
a
like
crazy slap in the face. That they would
I don't
not.
know if it's a slap in the face. It's just so funny. Like I can write what I want. I can write what these characters tell me
No,
to write.
I'm
It's
not
fun.
taking that. They would not do that to us. They would not play with
I'm
that
messing around, by the way.
in our
I'm messing around.
faces. We are getting two
I
separate
think
weddings.
I don't know if we're getting too separate. I think the foreshadowing has me changing my opinion a little bit, but I think I'm still more percentage wise on the side of Spilivia is definitely getting engaged, and we'll see an engagement. And I still think we're going to see a Jordala wedding maybe at the end, the last episode or so, a couple of episodes actually.
Nah, they're gonna do us like They're gonna do us like Did they both get married? Now I gotta go rewatch the series. Like the final episode of Gossip Girl.
They had two weddings in the final episode of Gossip Girl.
Was it two weddings with I know Blair and Chuck definitely got married.
If they have both weddings, I definitely don't think that we're going to see both of them in the same episode. I think it would be spaced out a little.
No, that's why I'm dependent on season 7. Like
Oh, well, I'm talking about this season.
I know this season
talking
I'm
about
getting
this season.
Jordala.
That's what I was asking. So you don't think it's Olivia? You think maybe an engagement would happen, which is where I am.
For season 6, you mean?
Yeah, for season 6.
Season 7,
Okay.
which I am fully convinced that we're getting.
I love your dedication. I love your
Stop! Don't do this to me. I have so many things in my head of plans.
I'm just saying because they said that they were going to wrap up the Spencer James story, so taking all of that into you haven't heard?
Girl, you know goodness. I don't be so late.
NK, our showrunner, said, I love how I'm saying our showrunner.
I was
gonna say, but NK said that with the 2 additional episodes to bring it to 15, that she asked for those 2 additional episodes to fully flesh out and give space for the characters and bring a potential end to where we are in this series, and that a season 7 potentially would be some sort of next generation. I don't know if the season 7 next generation came from NK. It came from the CW, I think, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I'm blowing your mind right now, I know.
Dang. Oh, my heart. Okay, I'm getting my Jordala wedding. Season 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Olivia, he's gonna have an official ring in that box at some point, and that's it. It's gonna be an engagement. They're not gonna be able to fit in no 2 weddings. There's no way.
I feel like it's really hard to fit in 2 weddings unless it's a double wedding. Unless it's a double wedding.
You're not. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Well, at least if it's a season 7 and we do next generation, can it be like next generation artist for Layla and her label, and then can it be Jor decides his career path is going to be he actually takes over at GAU, and then we can see him now coaching so they can get a spin.
And with that, I'll say thank you for listening to our predictions. Really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for listening.